Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. We are here on the very first day of winter, December, 19th or 20th, here at Chestnut Park in beautiful Buffalo, New York. And today we are embarking on our very first snow hike of the year. We have a special invite here and we'll bring him in on a second. But come along with me here because we're going to see something really incredible today. We are going to be looking at one of the only gasifers in the nation that's under a waterfall, which is constantly known as the Eternal Flame. So come along with us on this adventure today. And again, we're here visiting Chestnut Ridge Park, which is located in Orchard Park, New York State. And it really is a beautiful park to come and see. Chestnut Ridge itself is 1,213 acres large and is open year-round, so please come and pay a visit. Now, let's transition to our team roundup. Ladies and gentlemen, this is our very special guest today, Mr. Todd Porter. He is our Agent 221 in the field, and he invited us out here to come and see the Eternal Flame. So, we're ever so grateful for the invite, and truly, Buffalonian hospitality. Come along with us now. Coming along on this great adventure is our dear beloved friend Edom, fully prepared for the winter here. And being sure to stay on the designated trail is everyone's favorite Tauntaun. Now, the Eternal Flame Trail is only 1.2 miles to walk from the parking lot all the way to the fall itself. And here's the local map just to verify the fact in case you were curious. This hike in general would be fairly leisurely, and for most trails in the area is actually pretty nice. However, keep in mind this is the winter, so conditions change. Be careful when you come out here, especially in conditions like this where it's 2 feet of snow. It's going to hide a lot of ice. Please have a boot that's hopefully waterproof or fully Gore-Tex, as well as good grip. Make sure you take with you the necessities as well as good layering, and try your best to stay dry. And if you're not comfortable in a place like this, then please play it safe. But in this case, we're ready to have a ball, so we'll continue up here. The initial first half of this trail is actually fairly easy. Of course, mind your step, but for the most part, you should find this fairly manageable. Going a little further off that point is the fact that all of these trails are fairly well marked. You can see where you are and how far you went every point of a mile, in this case 0.5 miles to the Eternal Flame. On a far more random note, I'd like to hand it to our fellow trail guide Edom here, that he was looking ridiculously aesthetic today. If there's some kind of an award for this, he should get it. However, you don't need to dress like Edom in order to stay warm. Something like a Carhartt and jeans is just fine, as Todd can show you here. Just be sure to take care of yourself. Now, many times you've seen us go off trail, but I really suggest, especially in conditions like these, that you adhere to a sign like this. Especially in the wintertime, there are many sinkholes that we're not familiar with and soft areas that can drop you down. Even here in 2 feet, it can be dangerous. Come with me here and I'll show you why. Right down there is the slippery slope to a lot of trouble. Cold water and roughly a 30 to 40 foot drop. So stay on the trail here, play it safe, just in case. Friendly advice. Some people have taken this shortcut in the past in order to get to the waterfall, and we do not suggest you do so. Fortunately, in order to aid in getting down to the waterfall is a large series of stair steps. However, in these winter conditions, we do advise you also be careful because ice forms over these and people walk these all the time. So use that guardrail and be a little more safe. Remember guys, it's slippery when wet. Adding to these conditions is the fact that snow will oftentimes fall from the trees, but it is extremely beautiful in what feels like a winter wonderland. Now, I don't know if this here is a particularly usable grotto, but I appreciate the fact that it just might be the home of a squirrel. You never know. As you come down into the ravine, you will see a guide of instructions that we suggest you follow. However, the very first instruction might be the hardest to follow due to geographic reasons. Before you here is the entrance to the ravine, and it really is stunning to see on the very first day of winter. It is absolutely gorgeous.
Ladies and gentlemen, the serenity here really cannot be understated. It's just immensely beautiful with the fresh falling snow, the sound of the running water, the blanketing of the pine trees. You really couldn't ask for more. It's almost like a Hallmark card, if you would. This is something you'd expect to see only in the magazines or a Christmas special.
And you might expect this beauty to last forever, except for the fact that now, once you enter the ravine, you have to cross the water. And in this case, it's 16 degrees out currently. Some of us might consider that a bit cold. From here, our surprisingly relaxing winter hike turned into something rather technical. However, with all of that said, as we began to make our crossing of the ravine, we got a very surprising message from a bystander.
So one of our fellow hikers informed us that the flame is actually not eternal, and it went out. So Eager Beaver crew is going to try to save the day. Anthony's going to run back to the truck, grab a lighter, and we're going to relight the flame of adventure.
And with that said, yours truly and Tauntaun took off up the mountain.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are on a mission from God to relight the flame, so let's make haste.
Now, you won't see us running on film, but I can verify the fact that by the time we made it up the third flight of stairs, we were a touch out of breath and might have shucked off a few layers.
Ladies and gentlemen, in order to keep the spirit of the holiday going, we sprinted up mountain in order to get our lighting kit. So now, follow us back down as we get the flame relit.
And maybe we didn't run downhill as fast as we ran uphill, but hey, at least we had a moment to catch our breath, and Eager Beaver was on the job. Returning to the ravine, as always, was beautiful. However, because it's cold and wet, it only adds to our trouble. Now, this ravine will start off wide enough, but eventually there's not much of a trail left, and the ice itself will just break under your feet and you can walk in the water. Here's a fairly good example of what it looked like, and we are fortunate that at the deepest it was only 1.5 feet, so this was fairly safe for our Gore-Tex boots. I would like to emphasize that it is rather dangerous out here this time of year, so if you're coming with a family, please be fully prepared. This is not an easy walk by any means. Toward the very end of this hike as well, you really need to be careful, because it's not only slippery, but you're going to have to fit yourself through a couple of different trees. As you can see me here, my boots are thoroughly wet and iced now.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is a lot more technical than we were expecting.
Before you here is Eternal Flame Falls, which is over 30 feet in height, and as you can see, the flame is out. Edom went ahead and volunteered as a sacrifice to the Eternal Flame, and he would set it alight again. In turn, Todd volunteered to work as a rope and gave his leg in order to be held onto for better stability. And that looked like a sturdy route, so let's go for it. I'm going to try and keep the narration to a minimum here, but I'll let you watch exactly how it went down for us on our first attempt. And here the team is getting Edom into position. Although we nearly lost Todd, we were able to light the flame on our first attempt and get everyone down safely. Now, we don't suggest you do this like we did, but at the same time, if you want to be successful, take a few notes. And here I am asking for the camera in order to get a close-up shot of the fire. And before you here is the Eternal Flame of Buffalo, New York. It is the only flame in the entire world to exist that can be continuously lit under a waterfall. It releases roughly 2.2 gallons worth of methane a day. Further, the source of this methane is roughly 1,300 feet below ground. The Eternal Flame of Buffalo, New York is one of 9 throughout the entire world, and is the only one to exist in the United States. Truthfully, relighting this flame is one of the most rewarding moments I've ever had in nature. Or at least it was until the flame went out roughly 2 minutes after relighting it. So we lit it a second time, and then it died. And by the time we were in place for a third lighting, we had roughly attracted 4 families to view the entire lighting process. And I'll just let it play out from here so you can enjoy the drama one more time.
There we go. There we go. There you go.
And from here, I'd like to thank my team for making it possible to relight the flame not once, but 3 times, as well as to all of those who are out there supporting us in this effort. Thank you, Buffalo. After having lit the flame 3 times, I can tell you for a fact that it's not that the flame itself is eternal, but the fact that the people of this great city come together to make this flame eternal and carry the torch. And yes, the sentiment may be sappy, but it doesn't stop it from being true. Now from here, let's make our way home.
Ladies and gentlemen, I can say without a doubt in my mind that it's one of the coolest experiences that we've had this year. Really, it's so humbling to be asked not to relight the flame once, not twice, but 3 times, and to do it as a team successfully that many times. Most of all, I'd like to congratulate our fellow ranger, Edom, who decided that he was going to step up under the waterfall in what is now 17 degrees out today. Really incredible of him. So thank you, Edom, for your service to the team and the greater state of New York. When you come out here in these conditions, I really highly suggest if you want to see the eternal flame, you bring a lighter to continue what really makes it eternal, the tradition of keeping that gasifier lit. Further, please consider bringing your warm weather gear, especially waterproof equipment, and Gore-Tex boots if you have them. We found ourselves stepping into feet of water and ice in order to get to this destination. Now, most of you probably aren't going to like the flame like we did, but if you plan on carrying on that tradition, be ready to get wet and cold. It's beautiful out here, and we encourage you to go out there and keep that flame lit, but do so with extreme caution. We highly encourage you to come out here and see the eternal flame of Buffalo, New York. It's a testament to this town and its people. No matter the fact whether or not that light stays lit, it's the great people of this city who keep that fire alive, right in here and right down there in the water. It's incredible. It really is. Please come out here. Please see this place. And please support the beautiful city, state, and park of Buffalo, New York. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for your time. If you've enjoyed the content, please like and subscribe. And until then, we will see you next time. Signing out.